That should work. Oh wow. My brother just walked in with two boxes of Chef Boyardee pizzas.
Lori?
I don't know who sent that. I didn't
Who,
see.
who was sending us a
Oh my god. I didn't even know they still made that
me
shit.
either?
Yeah, Hawk's still here. He hasn't left yet, but he's about to leave. Wow. Um yeah, Brian, I don't really know how I'm doing anymore. I get that sentiment 100%. Totally. Makes total sense to me. So yeah, so you guys are stuck with me tonight. Me, a solo Falcon live. So by default, this live. Whoa, the microphone just crapped out on me. By default, this live is going to be more mellow than when we have lots of people in here. As long as you guys can hear me all right. Everybody's here. What's up, Zelda, Chris, Lori, Happy Atheist, Glitter Shitter, Yogi. I expect a smaller crowd, so it's no pressure, right? And I'm not streaming this to TikTok either because I just wasn't set up for that. I had kind of a busy day. I don't know if, yeah, Wiseacre, Blue Side of History, Wiseacre, he wanted to be here, but his whole family, he was taking his whole family to go see Superman. So that seems like a lot more fun than sitting here with me. Yeah, it's good to see everybody. Um, what a time to be alive, huh? Yeah, Hawk in the distance, that's right. He came in to show me some stuff. So I'm kind of looking down a little bit because I have three monitors up here now. I'm not used to being in this space, but I realize I kind of need to rearrange Hawk's monitors so he has one right at camera. Oh, thanks, Willis. Um, I'm ready for my therapy. This is not therapy, but it can be support. Um, Cutting in and out. I don't know if anybody else is seeing that. It says my stream health is excellent, so I don't know if that's a me problem or a you problem. It's hard for me to tell. Yeah, shitty time to be alive. It sucks, man. This is tough to go through. Um, I saw you guys talking about these little crowns. I've never seen those before. Man from the West 420 has crown number one. I think that's a new YouTube thing. Does anybody know what's going on with that? Because I do not. Yeah, so everybody just take a deep breath, man. Damn. Yeah, deep breath. I zoomed in on the chat a little bit here. It looks a little big. Sorry if that's distracting. Let me zoom back out. I did it because I have the chat on my laptop right here and it's super small. But I can still see that. Oh, Tim said it means you're a top fan. Okay. Oh, Chris, you lost your crown? I guess this is like a typical incentive thing for people to feel special. Oh, thanks, Mayan Leader says happy birthday. I appreciate that. Um, oh, it's a list. Press on one of the crowns and it will come up. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, yeah, look at that. There it is. The list of crowns. Isn't that something? Top fans, it says. All right, I'll roll with that. Okay, so I kind of think tonight, since it's just me, that we should just focus on trying to relax and hang out together. Maybe even regulate our nervous systems a little bit. We got 300 people in here. I doubt we'll have much more, but who knows? We can talk a little politics if you guys want. Thanks for the birthday wishes. Appreciate that. Yeah, Jay, you got it right, man. From the West, that's the sentiment most days. Yeah, so I had a little distraction this morning today, because I don't know if those of you have not seen my last TikTok post, please go check it out. It's a really cool announcement. And what I would love and request for you guys would be to like it, comment on it, share it, interact with it, because I really want to get it out into the TikTok sphere, because Friday at 12 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern time, Hawk is going to be live with Tim Miller on the Bulwark TikTok page. And that's something that is like just super cool. Hold on, I have a little text here I got to answer. So yeah, that's something, we've been kind of talking to those guys a little bit, and it was something that was floated as an idea. Oh, thanks you guys for all those birthday wishes. And yeah, it just kind of happened, man. It's happening. And that's pretty freaking amazing. And thank you to Jackie. Probably, I don't know if it would happen without you, Jackie. I mean, you were the one that kind of got us. I think there were a couple of you, but you were the main one, the first one that said that Tim Miller was a fan of Hawks and that he knew who Hawk was, and you went and saw them live, and that kind of motivated me to go make arrangements for us to go see them live in Nashville, which we did in May. And we got to meet Tim and Sarah and JVL, and it was just awesome. But yeah, Fiona, that's right. It is only on TikTok. So it's going to be on TikTok, on the Bulwark's TikTok live. So Tim's going to go live on their account, and then Matt, he's going to invite my brother up, and my brother's going to be the guest. So the Bulwark's TikTok page is The Bulwark Media, at The Bulwark Media. It's actually not a verified account, so don't be fooled by that. But they don't have a huge TikTok presence. I think they only have about 80,000 followers. So hopefully this can be a good opportunity where we can boost up their following. That's the idea. That's what I want to see happen. And just to see my brother and Tim riffing out together. They're just going to talk politics. It's going to be super raw format. Nothing scripted. Just both of them hanging out. So thank you for all the birthday wishes. I appreciate that. And yeah, so it's something that, my brother's never really had much of a plan for this whole thing in terms of like what the social media thing will become or evolve to. But if there was a plan, this would certainly be part of it, is to do something like that. So we're super, super stoked about it. Yeah, Fiona said maybe Tim will Substack it later. He might, yeah. It's raw and uncut. That's right. They want it to be just kind of a raw, unscripted, just fun kind of riff situation. And I have no doubt that it'll be entertaining, and I have no doubt that they will have lots of stuff to talk about. I mean, let's be honest here. Um, so yeah, pretty freaking cool, man. It's a nice kind of bookend to my brother hitting 1 million followers. You know, that was pretty wild. I think that happened on Sunday for those of you that were around, and that was really cool. Shyla says, when is this happening? So if you go to look at the last TikTok post on my account, YYZ Falcon, and you'll see all the details, but it's happening Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 12 noon Pacific Time on TikTok at the board page. So yeah, how about that, huh, Jackie? Yeah, Hawk, Raw, and Unscripted can be pretty entertaining. That's right, Michelle. And it's actually, you know, Tim and Hawk together, Unscripted. I'm one of the few people who's ever experienced that in real life, and I can tell you that's highly entertaining. So you guys, it'll be fun. And Tim's great at, you know, just flow and keeping things rolling and, you know, bringing up interesting points and questions and topics and all that stuff. And there's lots to talk about. So yeah, there's always new insanity. That's right, Cameron. There is no shortage of insanity to talk about. So why don't you guys chime in? I'm always curious. I know it's a lot of repeat for you guys probably, but I always love to see where everyone is coming from. Even the people I know that are where they're coming from. It just, I don't know, there's something about it makes me feel good. Mr. Beard, how are you? Welcome. Oh, thanks, Kate. I appreciate that. Thanks for the birthday wishes. Yeah, I like seeing where people are coming from. Chris in Minnesota, Yogi, New Jersey. Sometimes I forget too, so it's helpful for me to see it over and over again. Oh, man from the West, Los Angeles County. Denver. Leftwich is in Florida. Right on. Seattle. Appalachian, New York. Victoria from the UK. I know our Aussies will get in here at some point, or maybe they just come to see Hawk. They might be bored with me. Columbus. Val. Belleville, Ontario. West Palm Beach, Florida. There's Linda from Australia. Tejas, right on. Scotland, Zelda. Always staple. Love to see it. Let's see. This thing, Catastrophic Witch, Payton City West. When I look at this one chat window, the names that show up in green are hard for me to read because I have a little bit of color blindness. Nice. No way. Karen, that's amazing. Are you kidding me? Gonna sponsor a bonfire for our MAGA neighbors to burn their MAGA crap. That's just awesome. Is that for real? Are you serious? That's pretty awesome. Sherry and Xenia. I know Xenia. Amaron, Texas. A few from Houston. Yeah, you guys could have a watch party. That'd be kind of cool. That would be kind of cool, actually, if people who were close to one another, like got together and hung out and had a little community live. That'd be pretty awesome. Put it up on the TV. LJ, sometimes it's nice to have less hectic live. I agree, man. It's always, when I have lots of people here, I have a lot more tech to kind of manage, and it takes me out of it a little bit, so I can't really be as present. But especially last week, I got in here a little bit late, and the tech was giving me headaches, and it's just a lot simpler when it's just me. Janko in Crete. Wow, amazing. I've been to Crete. Crete was one of the windiest places I've ever been in my life. I don't know if that's normal or just when I was there. Fiona says, how can you steal a crown? I don't know. I do not know. Oh, Sherry must be having issues. Yeah, Sherry, you can try to just leave and then come back and see what happens. I think it's working for everybody else. It says it's a healthy connection. So we'll see. Yeah, Falcon seems calmer tonight. I am calmer just because it's just me, you know. I don't have to wrangle all the extra tech. Hey Rita, thanks for the birthday wishes. Hey, we have a German here. I don't speak German, so somebody would have to translate that for me, but welcome. And welcome in any language. Daniel from the Blue Mountains. I love the Blue Mountains, man. I went there when I was in Australia. It's such a beautiful area. Hey, Karen speaks German. There you go. I knew somebody would. It's pretty awesome. How's Angel? Angel's good. Angel is in this... Angel's reached an age where he is so snuggly, man. It's amazing. And have you ever been to Sweden? I don't think I've been to Sweden, no. I don't think so. If I ever did, it was just for a brief moment traveling. You don't need to handle Hawk's tech blindness. Yeah, that's true. He's pretty good though. He's getting better. So here he is. He's leaving. Say hey to everybody.
Hi guys. I'm going to dinner. Have a lovely evening.
That's how you get a Hawk tonight. All right, man. Have fun.
All right. I'll see you.
All right. Let's see. It says, happy birthday and greetings from Bremen. Oh, cool. Thank you. So, yeah, what was I talking about? Oh, traveling, maybe. Yeah, so we're going to have a chill hangout. And I don't even care what we do. We get to do whatever the hell we want. And nothing qualifies. I think last week somebody came on the live and was like, what are we doing here? I'm like, nothing, man. That's why. We're doing absolutely nothing. So, I ask this question a lot, and I'm always curious what you are all doing to maintain your mental health in this madness. Because this is a marathon. It feels like a marathon. That we're in here, and there's got to find a way to maintain, you know. So I'm curious what you guys do that gives you the most peace in these moments, something that kind of helps you relax. Yeah, we can do a poll too if you guys want. What kind of poll do you want to do, Kath? And when you guys are reading these comments, what other people do, I think it's helpful to see what people do, and it might give you some ideas of things to do too. Pooty Posh says, off camera, do you guys call each other Hawk and Falcons? I've done it before. It happens. Mayan leader, I go on hikes. Yeah, I do that too. Anybody out there do forest bathing? I love that. That's just going into the forest, and there's a couple places I go where there's like this bench out in the middle of the forest. It's very strange, but I can just lay down and just look up at the trees, man. It's amazing. Yeah, gardening, that's a big one. Animal therapy is definitely a big one. Definitely a big one. Um, Travel Junkie said, "Can you have even foreseen a day when you would be doing a broadcast with Tim Miller of the Borg?" Hell no, I had no idea that was something that was going to happen. It's quite amazing. I mean, I spent the morning kind of just, I was in a very creative process. I wanted to make a little promo and I kept thinking, oh, I'm going to do this. And then I would do something. And then I was like, ah, it's too complex and too messy. And then I would simplify it. And then I just kept simplifying it. And, for those of you that are creatives, you know how that process goes. And I was, you can go look at my TikTok page at my last post to see where I landed, but it's pretty simple. But it was really great experience because, you know, Jackie on here was the first person to message me and say, hey, I went and saw the Borg. Tim Miller knows who you guys are. Not me, but Hawk. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. And my brother and I had always wanted to go kind of to one of their lives. They didn't have anything scheduled on the West Coast, so we went to Nashville. And I was like, yeah, I just want to go there and check them out and meet them in person. And that's when Tim was like, that's when I took that picture that's on the promo I posted. And yeah, it was just great. It was really cool. And then, one thing led to another. And I happened to be in Hawk's TikTok account doing something, changing some settings. And he gets he gets thousands of messages. It's completely unmanageable to like even read them. But I just happened to be looking at it at a point where I was scrolling by and I saw this message that was like a week old somehow. And it was from the Borg page. It was after we went to Nashville. And they said, hey, would you be interested in hanging out with Tim on a live, just talking politics, you two together? So that kind of kicked it off and messaged back and forth. And then my brother and I was like, their Borg page, they don't do a ton of stuff on TikTok. They post clips and stuff from other things. But I was like, is this even really them? Like, this is, I said to my brother, I was like, man, we need to be careful because this could be a total scammer. It's not a verified account. Anybody could be, as you all know, anyone can create a fake account and start messaging people. Thanks, Jackie. And so I was like, well, dude, the only way we are going to engage with this and click on any links or do anything is if you text Tim Miller and he writes you back and says it's legit. So that's what we did this morning. I was like, because they were like, hey, how about Friday? I'm like, all right, dude, you need to text him because I'm not clicking on any of this shit until I know this is for real. And it's real. So, yeah, it's pretty awesome. I think you're right, Jackie. Jackie says I feel like the Borg's getting more and more active on TikTok. I think you're right. I think that that doesn't really work, that overlay, very well, does it, with the chat? I'll fix that. I think that it's they're probably trying to build up their following a little bit, which is great because I would love to. My brother and I would love to help them do that. Anything we can do to help them get some more people because we like what they do. Cameron said your fake account hits on women. I'm sure, man. These people, man, that's all they do. Try to get you to send them some money. How much money from Nigerian princes have you missed? That's right. So yeah, it feels really good. It's just an incredibly cool thing, and it's just another piece of evolution here in this whole whacked out space. Oh my God, Eric has 13 foster cats. That is amazing, man. That would be so cool. Yeah, that's a lot of cat love, man. Um, so yeah, it's been a little crazy, as you know. I think it's been a pretty stressful time for the MAGA crowd as well, given given what's going on with Agenia, with the Epstein stuff and all that. And it's actually been quite nice to just watch these guys melt down and have their brains split. And also funny how quickly some of them pivot to just whatever narrative they're fed, you know. It's kind of crazy. Angel Bean, welcome. Oh, you got a job interview Friday. Good job, man. That's awesome. Good luck with that. I hope it's a good one. I hope it's been a minute. You know, you've been working on that, so I hope that goes well. Hawk is not here. He had to go meet up with a friend that's in town just for one night, so he had to do that tonight. So yeah, everybody wish Dr. Bean good luck on the job interview. Worst cover up in history. That's right. The Epstein thing. I mean, this is it's really a good test of how how indoctrinated are these people in this cult. And I guarantee you what you're going to see is the majority of them are going to just go with the narrative. It's all a hoax. You know, you're going to see tons of comments in social media because they've fired up all the bots to disseminate the talking points in the narrative. And we're already seeing tons and tons of comments of like, oh, I can't believe you people actually believe this hoax and all that. Those are all bots. They're just ramping all that stuff up. But that's how it works. They get that going. They get all the rubes, all the cult members, joining in with the bots, and so it goes, But it will break some of them. Um, it will break some of them, and the more of those types of things that happen, the more of them will have to bump into their cognitive dissonance. Carol said, top Falcon tip for emotional regulation. That's a good question. The one that I use the most is the VU breath. You can Google that on YouTube, or you can search on YouTube for the VU breath. There's a lot of videos on there. Peter Levine was kind of the one that created that, but the idea is to get the vibration of that sound stimulating your vagus nerve and feeling it down in your lower belly. So that's the idea there, and it works for me very well. So yeah, check it out. If you don't know the VU breath, I highly recommend it. Oh, thank you, Maple. Appreciate that. Let's see. Yeah, Yogi said, I've seen the documentary on Jeffrey Epstein, Filthy Rich. There's no way you can tell me that there's no list. Yeah, it's absurd. Of course there's a list. Thanks, Maple. Appreciate that. Yeah, there's a list. Angel is not with me, but I do have Lola and Tanner. Tanner just came in for a little visit. What's up, buddy? Yeah, VU, VOO. You can search VOO, VU breath. Yeah, it's like diaphragm breathing. It's like, I can demonstrate it for you if you want. You're just taking a deep breath, and you just make this sound, and you basically, it's like you try to make your own version of like foghorn, like at the lowest your voice can go, so that creates the most vibration. So for me, it's just like, if I'll try it. So you do that 3 times. And the idea is to really, it's not to like project. You just want to get that vibration going. And ideally, you feel it in your throat, in your chest, and then all the way down in your belly. And that kind of hits that whole vagus nerve pathway. And it really works, man. It really helps to, I do it in all kinds of situations, and you can kind of do it even really quietly. So you can even be in public, and you don't have to project this loud noise. You can just get that subtle vibration going. I mean, I think Peter Levine even talks about that. Like, he talks about doing it when he's like standing in line at the grocery store and things like that. Oh, Kate, thanks. I'm glad. Yeah, I've done a few meditations on my TikTok page. If you guys haven't seen those, that's something I want to do more of, just because, the feedback is that it helps people. So if it just helps 1 or 2 people, that's all. That's a lot. So, yeah. Husky says, when I want to relax, I watch Hawk and take comfort knowing others are outraged about the White House as well. Yeah, it is helpful. It's helpful to feel like you're not the only one that's experiencing that level of anger and rage and, yeah, all that stuff. So, Genius said, I'm profoundly hearing impaired, and honing in on sound is hard. If you're talking about the VU breath, Genia, it's not about the sound, it's about the vibration. So you can feel, even if you can't hear, just get your vocal pattern going so that you feel a vibration and you feel it. And even if you don't feel it in your belly, imagine that you're feeling it in your belly. Just imagine a vibration down there in your stomach, in your belly. And with practice, you can start to feel it down there, because oftentimes we hold so much tension in our lower abdomen and our belly, especially if our nervous system's activated. So we can be holding so much tension in there. So just the idea that you're trying to feel that in your belly will help that relax. Oh, thanks, Jackie. Jackie said, serious question. Sorry, this overlay on the chat is kind of hard to read because I've got it overlapped, but it's been reported that Donald helped investigators build the case against Epstein. Maybe he made a deal in exchange for not being investigated. Is that something we can ever find out? You know what, Jackie? I don't know. I am not 100% tuned in on all of this stuff. My brother knows more about it than me, and there's other people out there that do. But none of what you said would surprise me one bit. Kate said, Falcon, I don't hear perfectly either. What is it called? Vubra? It's called the VU breath. So it's VOO. You can look in YouTube, VOO breath, and you'll find lots of people demonstrating that. So, yeah, it's a really powerful thing. Another thing that's really powerful for regulation is a practice called orientation. And orientation is very simple. We as human beings, we orient instinctively. And orientation, like, so we orient in 2 different ways. We can orient to signs of threat, or we can orient to cues of safety. And that's really, the neuroception of our nervous system. Neuroception is like this kind of subconscious scanner that's always looking for signs of threat or signs of safety, one of the two. So whether you know it or not, your physical nervous system is always scanning for signs of threat and signs of safety. Now, signs of threat are going to be different for every individual, and it's largely going to be based on your patterning and your upbringing and your childhood and all that kind of stuff. So, you're welcome, Anna. Oh, thanks, Chris. Appreciate that. So, orientation is an intentional thing you can do to orient to safety. And by doing that, you're showing your nervous system. So, orientation to threat is kind of like, imagine you're like walking down the street and there's a street and there's two cars come and they smash into each other and make this loud noise. You immediately turn to that sound to see what it is, to, everything gets charged. Your whole nervous system goes to high alert and you orient to that. You look that way, your body turns that way. You're like, I need to know what this is. I need to figure out what my next step is. Am I in danger? Do I need to do something? Well, you can sit just in your environment and orient to safety. Now, this is assuming that you're in a safe space to begin with. And that's the most important thing to do, is that if you're not in a safe environment, physically, can you get yourself to a safe environment? That would be the biggest thing you could do. If you are in a safe environment, then you can simply the practice is you just let your eyes kind of wander around your environment, your space. And you don't try to control what you're looking at, where they're focusing. You just let them go and notice when they kind of find something interesting. And once they kind of do, you start to look closely at that thing in the more detail. That's all right, Marathon Don. Thanks for coming, man. Appreciate it. It's good seeing you here. And yeah, so you're orienting to your environment, and what you're doing is you're giving your nervous system cues that you're safe. And you can also, like, if you're at your desk, you can orient, you can find an object, you can pick it up, you can feel the texture of it. It could be a pen, it could be a paperweight, it could be, a stack of Post-it notes, and just let your physical body interact with it, feel what it feels like. And you're just kind of bringing your nervous system into the present and showing your nervous system that you're safe in this moment. And that's called orientation. And you can look on YouTube for things like that too, but it's really helpful. When you combine orientation, when you do the VU breath, it really helps you kind of get into your body. And, one thing that's really important to note is that for some people, the body is not a safe place. It doesn't feel safe to be in the body, and you have to honor that. So, everybody's different, and there's a lot of different things to consider. When that's one of the issues I have with a lot of self-help or these kind of things. You see online, is that they're not nervous system informed, and any kind of practice or self-help or any kind of nervous system regulation, anything someone is suggesting to you to do, if it's not nervous system informed, it's not going to be for everyone. It's not going to help everyone, and some examples of this are like there's a lot of, breath work and breathing things out there that people suggest and they try to get people to do. And for one person, it might make them feel really calm and relaxed. For another person, it might send their nervous system into total fight or flight. And it's very individual. So it's really important to kind of know your own nervous system and what helps you and what doesn't, and to really honor that. Because everybody's different. Everybody has a different past. Everybody's nervous system has responded differently to the same types of things. So two people might have very similar pasts and have very different nervous system responses. So it's really important to kind of learn what is your nervous system like, and what is your response to different things. And you can try things and see, just because somebody's telling you, oh, this will really help you, it doesn't mean anything if it's not nervous system informed, and if they're not also telling you to really pay attention to how it's impacting you. So Sunny B said binaural beats, vagus nerve regulation. Yeah, I've listened to some binaural beat stuff before. It's kind of cool. You got to trust your nervous system, and you cannot push it, because you will push yourself straight into survival mode. And that's you got to honor your own system, Sarah said, Hawk does not seem as calm as you, Falcon. My brother has his own way. He has a very different nervous system than I do, and he has different ways of coping and dealing and regulating than I do, and none of us are the same. Kate says, I just learned the sound of crickets helps our body regulate. Yeah, that's interesting. Crickets, and I've heard, songbirds, and I think the reason behind that is because when crickets are active and songbirds are active, that means there's no threat. I mean, if you ever come upon a single cricket that gets into your house, I remember this at my grandparents' farm, find a cricket. It's making noise, but as soon as you got near that thing, it stopped because it sensed that it was under threat. So I think that's why, because when the crickets are out and doing their thing, there's no threat. It's kind of a signal, very much like orientation. It's a signal of safety. Yeah, LJ said binaural beats with headphones, definitely better for sure. Thanks, Anna. Yeah, so we're all different. You got to, knowledge is power said, I watch a lot of Disney fireworks on TikTok lives. Yeah, that would send me over the edge. I couldn't do that. But for you, that's great. That's a perfect example. That what's good for one person is not necessarily good for everyone. And you got to find what's good for you. Laura said mental health also comes from gut health. What do you do for gut health? Yeah, the gut is really important. I saw some guy talking the other day about, I can't remember the statistics, but the number of neurons in the gut is like, rivals that of the brain, or is maybe even more. I don't know the stats on it, but it's massive. And, for me, they're deeply connected, nervous system regulation and gut health. And, it's kind of like chicken and the egg, what comes first. For me, I just try to eat really healthy. I try to have a very low stress existence. That takes a lot of work and intention. But yeah, what you're putting in your gut is key. Jackie said, I have no way of regulating my nervous system. I scream into the void often, LOL. Yeah, I mean, that's an expression, right? That's a release. Screaming into the void is a release of anger, rage, frustration. That's a super positive, healthy thing to do if you're feeling those things. Because if you're feeling that stuff and you don't, it's just it's just stuck. You know, it's just stuck with you, and it's not going anywhere. So, um, yeah, so that's really good. I guarantee you, Jackie, that that is regulating if you're in that state. It releases something, you know, because I do that as well, and I find it to be really helpful. Um, let's see here. Make sure this thing is still healthy. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Looks good. Yeah, it's interesting. Some people like fireworks, you know. I mean, visually I think they can be beautiful, but overall they're just overwhelming to me. Um, so yeah, you guys, you know, really encourage everybody to find what works for them. But the VU breath is kind of, you know, so another thing to point out is that um, different there are different regulate tools of regulation for different states of your nervous system. If you're in like high sympathetic, or you're just like burning on the candle at both ends, you're just in overdrive. Your system is way over threshold. There are things that can help that state that wouldn't help you if you were in a completely shut down, collapsed dorsal state. So, learning number one, how to identify the state of your nervous system is key. And then learning what are the things when I'm in that specific state that help me personally. But I mentioned the VU breath because the VU breath is pretty universal. It can really help you in any state. It's not going to like send you over threshold if you're in sympathetic, or send you deeper into a dorsal state if you're feeling shut down. Um, Same with deep breathing. You know, just kind of like the 4-7-8 breath can be really helpful. Although if you're in a super dorsal state, for some people that can, you know, take them deeper into that state. So you gotta know yourself, and what works for you. So let's see, catching up here on the chat. I also just don't like fireworks because of what they do to animals and PTSD. Cass says I'm planting my kitchen garden. Gardening is such a big thing for so many people for regulation, and yeah, I can relate to that. I haven't done a ton of gardening, but it's connecting with nature, and it's really good. Yeah, it helps for getting out of your own head. That's true. Wow, this microphone is really. I have to tighten this thing somehow. It's not tightening. We got it fully extended here, so yeah, walking barefoot on warm sand. Yeah, that's super grounding. That's really good. Um, yeah, it's really good. And you know, when there's all of this stuff going on in the world that's happening right now, that's like kind of, you know, everything that this administration is doing is designed to dysregulate you. It's actually intentionally designed to put you into fight or flight, you know. So one of the things you can do is to, you know, limit the amount of that stuff that you're ingesting, limit um, the number of, TikTok videos you're seeing of ICE agents doing horrible things, and those things all just jack your nervous system into fight or flight, whether you know it or not. So you got to be mindful of kind of metering that stuff. Just not putting yourself over threshold if you can. Engaging in hobbies, anything that gives you a little bit of joy, a little bit of happiness, connecting with other people in your life that are safe and pleasant to be with, not the ones that are dysfunctional and cause you more stress. That's all about co-regulation. Co-regulation is another great way to show your nervous system that you are safe, and especially if you know somebody who is well regulated, because if you know someone that has a fairly regulated nervous system and you're feeling dysregulated, you just being in their presence is going to help your nervous system cue off of theirs. All the mirror neurons. You can read about mirror neurons. It's a real thing. Your mirror neurons are going to pick up on their state, and they're going to start to be like, oh, okay, we must be safe here because this person's really regulated. They're super calm. You're orienting, like there's no threat here in this immediate moment, and your nervous system is going to automatically just calm down. Now, the same is true if you're with somebody who's super dysregulated. That's going to be very dysregulating for you. So you got to, the company you keep is a real thing. It's important. But, yeah. Eric said, I'm an extroverted introvert, 23 years in sales with the same company. Every stop, deep breath, breathe deep, survey the situation, and knock it out day after day. Yeah, it's good. That's great. Yeah, you found a way to put yourself into the right state to be effective, It's really great. Yeah, Mogulfy. I do the same thing. I scroll past the ICE videos because there's nothing new for me to learn there, and it's just the same thing over and over again. And in this moment, there's nothing I can do about it. So the only result of that is for me to become dysregulated. So if I'm dysregulated, I'm of no value, no use to anyone. So it's like, part of me is like, oh, well, I want to stay informed and all this. Well, okay, I'm informed. I know what's going on. But me watching that over and over again is not helping at all. It's not helping me, and it's not helping anyone. Yeah, being barefoot in the grass, barefoot on the sand, in the dirt, even on concrete that's grounded, it's really good. Especially if it's like warm. I love being outside when it's warm and sunny and the ground is warm. Yeah, so there's all kinds of stuff, What else you guys want to talk about? What kind of questions do you have, or what? Somebody said they wanted to do a poll. Rent a poodle. Yeah, man. If you can go to a dog park, pet some dogs. If you don't have one, do it. Yeah. Routine. Sally mentioned routine. Routine is good, for me. I really value routine, especially in the morning, or, anything to start my day, or, those things can also be cues for your nervous system that you're safe, because you're kind of like, you're waking up, you're going about your day, you're doing the same thing. It's predictable. It's like, even if it's just like a half hour thing in the morning, you're kind of showing your system, hey, everything's normal here. We're going to do this stuff. Part of my routine is feeding Angel. That's part of it. He's very happy about that. Laura, so we need cooking with Falcon. I'm not much of a cook, honestly. I've never enjoyed cooking. And, it's quite possible that that's from just being in fight or flight and being in survival for most of my life. But, at this point, I'm just like, just I like to just I like easy, and right now I'm just not into cooking that much. I do, but simple, super simple. Karen said my hubby watches the news too often. This morning he was watching when the orange one was talking, and then I had him turn the channel because I just cannot hear his voice without becoming agitated. Yeah, that's a good boundary. You know, you're totally within your right to set those kinds of boundaries with the people in your lives. Like if somebody's on their phone and it's loud, it's like, hey man, can you put your headphones in? I find that to be really dysregulating. Set a boundary, leave the room. Sometimes if somebody's like, you know, oh hey, did you hear about this? Did you hear about that? You can say to them, I don't really want to hear about that stuff anymore right now because it really is not healthy for me. And I get that information in my own way. Um, let's see. Somebody said, Kate said, Falcon, how did you get into photography? Was it a draw from childhood? It's a good question. So my dad was a very prolific photographer, very, very talented photographer. And, my dad he's an interpreter of sign language. That's his whole career was kind of, he went to college, got a teaching certificate. And I think at the time that he graduated, if I'm right, that there weren't a lot of teaching jobs. And he didn't, it wasn't just easy for him to like slide into a high school or a local school and get a teaching job. There just weren't that many vacancies. So the one place he found a position was at the Ohio School for the Deaf. And he did not know sign language. He just was like, hey, this seems kind of interesting. And so he got a teaching position there, learned sign language, and began teaching. He taught a few things. He taught wood shop. He taught driver's ed, and he taught photography. So they had a dark room, and my dad loved photography, and my brother and I have some amazing pictures of us as kids because he was such a great photographer, and he would, we were willing subjects. So yeah, it was. I remember being at the deaf school with him many, many times in the wood shop, and oftentimes in the dark room, and being in a dark room setting with enlargers, and he's signing to these kids. You have the safe light on, so it's super dark, but there's like this red glow of the safe light, if any of you have ever been in a dark room. And he's got all the chemicals laid out, and he's teaching these kids, signing, how to, use the enlarger, how to develop the photos. And he even had to teach them, when you actually go in and load the film canister with the roll of film, that was pitch black. So he would go in there with one kid, and like he'd show him all the stuff with the lights on. They'd turn the lights out, and then he would sign, and some of them would feel like his hands to kind of, they would learn how to read what he was saying with his hands by just kind of putting their hands out there. So it was really cool. So he kind of became passionate about working with the deaf community. He became an interpreter, and all of that kind of set the stage for his career. But he was a heavy influence for me in photography, and I just always had a camera. I loved walking around with a camera all the time, taking pictures, and that's kind of how I got into it. Rita said my last older brother was a Navy photographer. That would have been a trip, man. That would be so cool. Thanks, Paulette. Yeah. Michelle said, I can smell the film developer just listening. Yeah, it's a distinct smell. You never forget it. Um, but I spent a fair amount of time in the dark room with him, and then, um, you know, I just kind of, it just feels like it's kind of in my blood. Um, yeah, Luis, he started the job and then learned sign language, and then later went back to grad school to study linguistics, interpreter training, all that stuff, and then he ended up at a college teaching interpreter training. So he would teach interpreters, how the people you see, when they're giving, there's a speech or and there's an interpreter there standing, in debates and all this stuff. You see it on TV, and he would. I remember on PBS, there was a show or two that he would be the interpreter for, and I would turn it on. He'd be down there in the corner, this little guy down there in the corner signing. It's pretty cool. Um, yeah, yeah. It's not. It was not easy, but it was. You know, it, it's a. There's a lot of nuance to interpreting, and there's different types of sign language, different, almost like different dialects. But he was really good at it. Very, very well known um, professor. But can you imagine teaching driver's ed to deaf kids? He's got some funny stories about that, man. You can't just yell stop at somebody. This was like in the 70s. But yeah, you never know what what kind of career you're going to end up in when you just follow what shows up. I never imagined I'd be doing this. Um, Pamela says you should do voiceover for audiobooks. It'd be interesting. Teresa, what's a good starter camera? I have no idea. There's so many freaking cameras out there. Your phone is probably the best thing at this point. Paisley said we're ASL here. Yeah, American Sign Language. I remember going with him once. There was a guy, an older man, who was kind of his mentor at that school that I met many times. And my dad was there for quite a while. And this guy was amazing, older deaf guy, kind of took him under his wing and taught him a lot of things. Became a very fast friend of my dad, very influential. And when he was older, he was in a nursing home and he lost his sight. I don't think he was always blind and deaf, but he ended up in this nursing home that was kind of catered to the deaf community, and he was blind. So my dad and I would go with my dad to visit him. Good night, Karen. Thanks for coming. And my dad, I never forget, my dad would sign, like this guy, Pop, we called him, he would put his hands out like this. And my dad would just sign underneath his hands, whatever he was signing. And Pop would just basically like reading Braille sign language, and he would know what my dad was saying. It was wild, man. Just like seeing that kind of stuff as a kid, just like the amazing capabilities of humans. And yeah, it was really profound, really cool experience as a kid. Yeah, hand over hand. That's right. It was really cool. Yeah, I can't imagine teaching deaf kids to drive. And these kids were wild too, man. They were teenagers. They were just like totally wild kids, just like as teenagers are. They love to have fun and just go crazy. And he was pretty young at the time too, so Um, they were always playing tricks on each other and stuff. Jay said, "Have you seen the movie L.A. Haine?" No, I don't know what that is. I learned some sign language, but not a lot. But I learned some, you know. Yeah, that's right, Laverne. That's how Helen Keller signed. Um, yeah. It's a big deaf community out here in the Bay Area in San Francisco. I learned that, I think it was the first year I moved out here. I took there were so many free classes with the SF Community College, and they would have night classes, just you name it, different topics. And a friend of mine wanted to take American Sign Language course, and it was at night, one night a week. And so I was like, "Yeah, I'll go with you." So I went and I met the instructor, and I mentioned to the instructor, he was a deaf guy, and I said, "Oh yeah, my dad's an interpreter." And he's like, "Oh, who's your father?" And I told him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I know him." I was like, "What?" So yeah, it's a pretty tight community. Mary said, "Recommendations for the basic equipment for a YouTube channel." You know what? I would look on YouTube because those people know a lot more than I do. So many options and so many things that would be easy to find on YouTube that they know more than me. That's what I did. I'm like, okay, what do I do? So it really depends on how much money you want to spend and what you're trying to do. So Michelle said, "Do you think Hakeem, Jeffries, and Schumer should be replaced?" I do. I think they're ineffective. Totally ineffective, yeah. So yeah, Lori said Falcon's YouTube account is YYZ Falcon. Yeah. You know what? I don't have a lot of YouTube followers, but if you guys want to go follow me, that would be great. At some point, I want to try to monetize that channel just as a backup in case anything were to happen to my brother's channel. It's always nice to have a little backup, but it takes a long time to get a YouTube channel monetized. You have to get like so many hours. I think it's so many hours of viewing time within a year or something. But I don't put a lot of energy into it. It's just my TikTok posts go there. But yeah, if you guys go follow that, that'd be awesome. And for anybody who just joined or hasn't been here the whole time, please go check out my last TikTok video, which is a promo for the live with Hawk and Tim Miller on the Bulwark channel. That's going to happen this Friday. If you could go comment on that, like it, share it, all that stuff, spread the word. I want to try to get that as promoted as possible. And you can do the same thing on my brother's channel, my brother's page. He has a TikTok that he did to promote that live as well. So we're just trying to get the word out there so we can get as many people to support that live as possible and sign up and follow the Bulwark as well. Yeah, Tim said maybe you can do meditations there. I'm starting to do more of those, do more meditations on my TikTok page, which then posts to my YouTube page. So, but yeah, I want to get a little more active on there. It's hard when, Hawk is my priority of content and social media presence and all that stuff. So, but yeah, thanks for all of you that are already following me there. Michelle, yeah, I have a page on YouTube. If you look right below my, right there, YYZ Falcon, that's my YouTube channel. Oh, thanks, Jackie. Appreciate that for promoting that. Yeah. No, I get it. TikTok is toxic. I feel you. TikTok is not for everybody. It's not the greatest place, but well, thanks, Rita. Oh, thanks, Paisley, for reposting that. Yeah. Louis says 2 a.m. here and the sun is coming up. This is very cozy. Where are you? Where does the sun come up at 2 a.m.? I have not seen Superman. I actually didn't even know there was a new Superman out until Wiseacre kind of reminded me. He's not here tonight because he's out seeing that movie with his whole family tonight. So, but I have seen a couple people talking about it, but I don't know much about it. Do you know that in the Netherlands in the mid 80s we studied the consequences of the fascist freedom and economics trickle down? We found it would be disastrous and lead us into fascism. Yeah, we're living it. That's right. You guys actually live somewhere where they study that and try to make people aware. The coastline of North Sweden. Oh, cool. Awesome. Very, very cool. Yeah, no wonder you're getting the early sunrise. So what time does the sun set this time of year there? Michelle said it was told Superman was woke. Oh, that's awesome, Mobilify. Renew your TikTok just for that live and then get right back off. Perfect. Love it. That'd be awesome, man. Appreciate that. Yeah. Breaking Bleat. Oh, this is Jackie's posting a Trump fake social. I've been speaking to Coca-Cola about real cane sugar. What's his obsession with Coca-Cola using real cane sugar? He must have a friend who's a billionaire that's in the cane sugar industry. That's the explanation of that. Yeah, what is this country going to look like at the end of his term? It's a damn good question. It's going to be unrecognizable. I think there's a march tomorrow, right? The Good Trouble protest, if I'm not mistaken. Excuse me. My sleep has been a little bit, well, not a little bit, a lot jacked up since the car accident. I'm not sleeping as well. Mexican Coke uses cane sugar and it tastes a lot better. That's true. Yeah, because we're just using high fructose corn syrup, right? Yeah. Which isn't high fructose corn syrup just some like manufacturing byproduct that they were like, hey, can't we use this for something? Of course, we can just pour it down people's throats. Yeah, there's a march tomorrow. Right on. We also studied the probe of fascism in the police state under Pinochet. Yeah. And it looks very similar to what's happening here, I would imagine. Yeah, Chris, magnesium before bed. That's a great suggestion. I actually do that. Oh, thanks, Kate. I got lucky, man, in that accident. I have some injuries that I think physical therapy is going to take care of, I hope. Yeah, magnesium. I use MagCalm. You guys know MagCalm? That stuff is awesome. It's just a little powder, put in some water. Oh, wow, it goes, sun sets around, so that's 10:45 p.m. Wow, that's a long day, man. That's amazing. It jumps directly from dusk till dawn. Yeah, that's so cool. That's wild. Yeah, calm, mag calm. I use that. Dissolves in water. No, Sherry, the car was totaled. And I got to tell you, for all of the hate on Teslas, I was driving a Tesla, and that car completely saved me. 1000%. Because I had it in FSD, and the car saved my ass. No, Laura, it wasn't T-bone. Basically, what happened was I was on PCH, which is Highway 1, for those of you who don't know, down in Malibu. And it's basically like a highway. It's like not technically a freeway, but it's Highway 1. But in this section, there were 2 lanes traveling south, 2 lanes north, and in the middle, there's a turn lane. It's kind of residential, somewhat residential, but it's 55. People drive freaking 75, 80 on this highway. And there's one section where there's beach access, so people park along the side of the road, which is insane. So these 2 cars were coming towards me. They saw this parking spaces on on the opposite side where I was. They did an illegal U-turn. So way ahead of me, I saw them do a U-turn, and then they pulled over to the right, and they got right up next to this parking space in the right-hand lane. So I got in the left-hand lane because I saw what they were doing, and I knew they were going to park. And it was this Jeep that so he slowed almost to a stop. He had his right turn signal on, and he was about to pull into this parking spot. And as soon as I got 5 feet away, he hooked another illegal U-turn right in front of me, and I just slammed right into him. Totally insane move, you know. But before I could even do anything, the car braked and scrubbed off some speed. It turned, so I didn't hit him head on, and it hit the corner of the car, which is one of the strongest parts of the car. And then it was totally nuts, man. It happened so fast, but that's what happened. You can make your own magnesium oil spray. Yeah, actually, I have a magnesium oil topical to like spray just on all the sore joints and muscles that I have. Oh, Patsy, you got fooled by an imposter. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I don't. I got to deal with some of these imposters. Totally nuts. LJ, is your car okay? No, the car's totaled. Completely totaled. Which is amazing because, the car is totaled and I just, I didn't have to go to the hospital or anything. It really saved me. No doubt about it. Yeah, there's lots of fake Hawk and Falcon accounts. So true. Yeah, it was really scary, Phil. It was like, I think the thing that I have to say, I'm a pretty safe driver and I've never been in an accident like that. And, I spent most of my life riding motorcycles, so very, very aware of my environment. Oh, we got a little troll in here, Donald. Meanwhile, your toilet. Oh, poor Donald. So filled with hate. Yeah, so the thing that has aside the physical stuff is one thing, but the mental stuff of that experience. Hey, Anne from Nova Scotia, welcome. The fact that this guy was like everything he was doing, there is no way in the world you would have thought this guy is going to hook a left-handed U-turn. He had already done one illegal U-turn. to find a park to because he wanted this parking space. I could see the parking space. I could see where he was going. He pulls up next to it. He has his right turn signal on. He's almost stopped to pull in. It's just right there. Like there's nothing that would have told me his next move was going to be to do hook a no look U-turn right in front of me. It was just nuts, man. Yeah, Sandra said PCH Highway is so dangerous there. It is so dangerous. And I didn't realize how dangerous it is, but I was coming back home in a rental car and I saw this sign in the exact same area. I was coming north this time. So somebody had made this sign. It was probably like 10 feet wide by 6 feet high. And they'd put it in there like on their property and it said 58. And there was a line through 58. It said 61. They wrote in 61 people have died on PCH so far this year. Do something. And it was like right where I had the accident. 61 people have died in that area on that stretch of highway this year. And I was almost one of them. It's absolutely insane, man. Was he young and high? He was young. He was probably 22. He was with his girlfriend. His car was disabled too. He couldn't drive his car. It was a Jeep. And his car, like, he got his car kind of in the center lane, but he couldn't drive it. So they had to tow his car and tow my car out of there. I mean, he was apologetic. He knew it was his fault. He was young. I didn't really talk to him much. I was completely in shock and like totally out of it. I was trying to like process what just happened, and then I was like, my car was on the berm of the road, so I had cars coming straight at me, 70, 80 miles an hour, and I finally got in my car. I mean, my car, the wheel, it was so jacked up, but I was like, well, there was only one spot for me to stand off the side of the road. And I was thinking, like, if one of these cars hits my car, it's going to plow straight into me and kill me. There was nowhere for me to go. So I got in my car and there was a driveway about 20 feet away and it still rolled, like it still drove. Like it was like scraping and all this stuff was broken, but I was able to back it into that driveway and get off the road. So, and then it was a whole fiasco just trying to get out of there. It was nuts. Yeah. No, that's not Angel. That was Tanner barking. My brother's dog, Tanner and Lola. Yeah, Michelle, my sleep has been totally jacked up. Driving is totally jacked up. Like just every time I get in the car, my whole body tenses up. All the things that are like injured or it's messed up. It was a serious impact, as you can imagine. But yeah, I got lucky, man. I could have been in the hospital. I could still be in the hospital. You can freaking hate on Teslas all you want, man, but that thing saved my ass. Absolutely saved my ass. No doubt about it. Yeah, a good trained massage therapist. That's a good idea. I think I'm going to do that. Cowbell, welcome. Damn, I forgot it's Wednesday. Well, you made it. It's just me. There's no Hawk here. No, Hawk did not come get me. He was in SF, so I was on my way down there for a shoot. I had to work the next day in Santa Monica, and this happened on the 22nd of June. And I was basically like stuck there. Like I had all this stuff in my car that I needed to work, and I had just had lunch with a friend of mine in Ventura, and I finally called her. I was like, I don't know what to do. It was a really weird thing because I could make a phone call But the way the cell towers were where I was standing, I could not text anyone and I could not get on the internet because I was like, okay, I'm just going to call an Uber. The sheriffs all left. They were like, whatever, man, you're not hurt. They did a report and they just left. They could have cared less how long I was sitting there on the side of the road. And I was, so I finally called my friend in Ventura. I was like, I don't know what to do here, man. I can call. I can't get an Uber. My insurance company was like, it was Sunday. They're like, oh, most people, I was literally like, what do you guys do? Like, I need this car towed, but I need all this stuff in it and I need a ride to Santa Monica. And they're like, oh, most people call an Uber. I'm like standing on the side of this freeway. I'm like, Uber? That's your answer? Okay. I couldn't get Uber to work, so I called my friend in Ventura, and thank God she was an angel, man. She came and got me and drove me to where I needed to be. She drove me to the rental car place where they got a rental car for me. That place was closed. Took me to the airport. I couldn't get one there, and just took me back to where my hotel was, where I was working. So saved my ass. Yeah, LJ said it's not the car, it's Elon we don't like. Yeah, I get it, man. I totally get it. I cannot stand that guy. And that car and the technology of that car fucking saved my life. There is absolutely no question. There's no question. You know, that's something that I can't forget, that I can't unlearn. Jackie said, what did you do with your car? They came and towed the car. I took everything out of it, and they towed it to a shop in Santa Monica, and that those are the guys that realized it was totaled. Thank you, Cat Quest. It's good to see you. Appreciate that. So yeah, that thing saved me, man. And now I'm like, if I get in a car that's not a Tesla, my whole fucking nervous system, I don't like it. It's not good, you know. It's like it's it's wild. Oh, there's my friend now texting me happy birthday. She's the one that picked me up and took me where I needed to go. Just talking about you on my live. Yeah. Yeah, so I had to sit there and wait for a tow truck. It took forever. Luckily, Jackie's asking what if they got there first. I would have just made them wait, but luckily it worked out. Hey, Melody, welcome. I mean, I was there probably for over 3 hours. Oh, my friend's here. Awesome. Yeah, I was there for over 3 hours, I think. Just, it was wild. I mean, I'd never been in that situation. It's kind of weird because if you've never been in that situation, you don't really know what happens, right? I mean, you know, like, okay, get the driver's insurance and call the police and all that stuff, but you don't know, like, oh, okay, what do you do after that, you know? And for me, I was completely rattled. There's Sarah right now. She's here. She's the one that picked me up. I was completely fried. Like, I was shaking. My nervous system was shot. Not only did I have an accident, but then I'm like on the side of the road in these cars. I'm telling you, man, if you know this stretch of Highway 1, PCH in Malibu, it's like a war zone, man. People drive so fast. It is insane. So Francesca says, how did the Tesla respond? So the Tesla saved my ass. The Tesla, I have a full like high def video of the thing. As soon as that guy started to turn his wheel, the Tesla slowed down and turned. And, there was no possible avoiding slamming into him. But it scrubbed a little bit of speed, and it turned the car so that the part of my car that hit his car was the corner. So it was the hardest, strongest part of my car that made an impact with him. And then my car went sideways, his car went sideways. So his car kind of went sideways and hit my car again. And that pushed me into oncoming traffic across the freeway. So I just got lucky that there wasn't a car right there going 70 miles an hour, or I would have been hit again. And that would have been it, man. But I still think I would have been okay because of the way those cars are built. They're like a steel. They're like a cage, an aluminum cage that's super super strong. And weirdly, there was no airbag deployed. And I've since learned. I thought that was a mistake, but I've since learned that that Tesla only deploys airbags if they calculate that it's going to help you. And it would not have helped me at all if they would have deployed. It would have just probably hurt me, actually, because it hit the corner and there's no airbag to kind of like help you from the opposite corner of the car. So Debbie says, sorry, Tesla, really ditch it. There are other cars. Gross as fuck. Fuck you, man. Fuck off, Debbie. That car saved my life, and I don't really give a shit what you think. Take that shit somewhere else, man. When I just get done telling you that car saved my life, and you're like, oh, there's other cars. Nah, take that shit somewhere else, man. Yeah, Sue says, I know exactly where you were, Falcon, on Malibu PCH. Yeah, it is, it's not a fun place to be, and I had to drive back through there again. So, yeah, I actually had a Tesla rental. There's no way I could have driven another car back from there. There's no way, man. I was so fried. The the mental part of it is like, you know, I know people hate Teslas. I know people hate Elon Musk. I do too. And there is no car that has that level of technology that could have done that. There just isn't. I'm sorry. Jennifer's like, who is this guy? I'm Hawk's brother. So yeah, that was wild. Yeah, Shyla says the music is so perfect for the Tim and Hawk TikTok. Yeah, that music came to mind. And I was like, oh man, I don't know. Is this a little like? I thought maybe it was a little flippant. I didn't want the Bulwark and Tim to be like offended by that, but I thought it fit pretty good, Francesca said you should have Ubered. I couldn't Uber. I couldn't get my phone to work. There was no connecting to any apps or anything. It was like a dead zone. Yeah, it was a young kid, man. He felt really bad, he knew immediately. He's like, man, he knew it was just a total bonehead move. And you know what, man, I did bonehead shit in my 20s. I didn't give him a hard time. I'm just like, he knew, he knew it was a bad move. And, he had his girlfriend with him, and he felt pretty terrible. And he was very worried, he wasn't really hurt, at least not that I could see. He was in a Jeep, so it was a bigger, higher car. It hit the side of his door, but he was pretty apologetic and worried and just grateful that I was okay, But yeah, being pushed into oncoming traffic was the scariest part because, there was nothing that could have stopped that. It was just straight up. I just literally like right across 2 lanes of oncoming traffic, and there were 2 cars coming, but they saw it in time to hit their brakes fast enough that they didn't hit me. So, yeah, I'm sure he learned a valuable lesson. I'm sure his parents were not happy, but yeah, it was wild, man. It was certainly has changed my perspective on driving. I'm hoping that it becomes a more relaxed experience than it is now. But yeah, if I could drive, I'd buy an armored RV. Yeah, I feel that too. It's like, I mean, I feel like, not only the tech of the Tesla and what it can do and what it does and how it responds, but just the way it's built. And I think a lot of EVs are like that. Um, I think a lot of the EVs are behind in technology because Tesla had such a massive head start, and they have so much more data and have had so much more time. But just the way EVs are built, they have a much more robust kind of cage basically around you. Oh, thanks, Eric. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it. Glad it was helpful and therapeutic. LJ said, will you get a new Tesla now? Yeah, I cannot drive another car. It ain't happening. It is not an option for me after that experience. So say what you will. It's the only, the only thing. Care, where's Hawk tonight? Hawk had plans. He had a friend in town for the night. So he went to have dinner with them. So, thanks, Colleen. Appreciate that. I don't know how much of Tesla Elon owns. It's a lot. Good night, Paisley. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it. Daisy said, I'm a nervous wreck driving after handling auto claims for 20 years. Oh, man, I can only imagine. I can only imagine the stories you have heard and the things you've seen. It's got to be rough. It's got to be rough, man. Hawk bailed on us for a date. No, it wasn't a date. Just a friend, but he's got his priorities, right? I mean... Oh, thanks, Carrie, or Corey. I think that says Corey. Garlic organizer. When was the accident? It was June 22nd. Yeah, I mean, I love the EVs overall. They're just amazing. Just such a different experience driving. But good night, Genia. Appreciate it. Daisy said it's a bit much. What's a bit much? Oh, thank you. Blackberry said my daughter has a Tesla and loves it. I've never met anybody who has a Tesla that doesn't love it. They hate Elon, but they love the car. I live in Marin. The traffic's horrible. The traffic's not bad here for me. Yeah, I've lived in places where it's much worse. But I don't have to be out in it when everybody else is out in it. So I have the luxury of not being in it. Yeah, the White House posted a picture of Trump in a Superman suit. I know. We're living in like some kind of cartoonish horror film that has no bounds, Auto claims are a bit much. Yeah, I can imagine, Daisy said. Tesla's a heavier car. I think all of EVs are heavier just because of the battery, but I'm not 100% sure about that. All right, Jackie. Have a great night. Thanks. Yeah, what time is it? 6:40. We'll be on here for probably another 20 minutes. Hopefully it wasn't too boring talking about the auto stuff, but it's interesting, I think, for people to hear about, It's an interesting experience to go through something like that, kind of for the first time, and I would have loved to have heard other people's experience of something like that before I experienced it myself, because it would have helped me a little bit to figure out what the hell do you do. Yeah, it's totally bizarre world, Cherry. No doubt. Catastrophic Witch heading out. Gaming session about to start. Good night. That's awesome. Have fun. That sounds fun. Bridge said, love the Tesla, not sure about paying for the self-drive. The self-drive is freaking awesome. That is my experience. I don't know what it's like in other parts of the country, but where I live, I have a feeling where I live it's better because it's the Bay Area. You can't spit without hitting 3 Teslas where I live, and so there's tons of data. But man, the self-driving is incredible. When I first got the other one, it was a while ago, and the self-driving was not as great, but it is really, really good now. Of course, military traffic in the Bay Area is crazy. Military out of LA. Oh, the military's out of LA. Oh, good. That's awesome. Is it your birthday? No, my birthday is in July, though. It's very soon. Yeah, Stephen King. I saw that. Did you see his tweet about the Epstein thing? That was so weird. Self-parallel parking. Yeah, it's excellent at that, too. Good night, Diane. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming. Yeah, Sarah, the self-drive saved my life. That's right. The thing happened so fast that, Tesla, when you're in an accident, they send you this whole diagnostics report so that you get all of this data of everything that was happening in the car, the state of everything, and then what happened, some period of time before and some period of time after. So there was not enough time for me as a human in my reflexes to hit the brake, turn the wheel, do all the things you would do because it was instant. But the car had time to do that. So the robotics, the computer of the car and the vision of the car and the reaction time of that had time to slow down, turn the car, and create a very different scenario than if I would have been just driving a normal car. So Blue Side of History, I think Stephen King tweeted or something that said the Epstein files don't exist. Like, what the fuck? What is this guy doing? Because I saw somebody post that and said, if you are a famous person or a celebrity and you are trying to get people to stop talking about Jeffrey Epstein, then you're probably on the list. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And he was using Stephen King's tweet as an example. I was like, damn, what's that guy doing, Yeah, Francesca, parallel parks, you just hit a button and let go. It's pretty wild. I mean, I was not a big fan of thinking about like a self-driving car before. And that was not one of the reasons I got that car when I originally got it. But damn, man, it's real. Jackie said Maureen Comey, who prosecuted Jeffrey Epstein and his former FBI director James Comey's daughter, was fired Wednesday from her job in the Manhattan U.S. Attorney's Office. Very interesting. There's no coincidences like that anymore, are there? Wow. Teresa's getting wired up for a sleep study. That sounds fun. Good luck. That's right. Thank you, Mary. He said the Epstein files are real, just like Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy. I don't know if he's being sarcastic. It certainly doesn't translate if he was trying to be funny or something. But I don't know. I don't know what he meant or what his, I don't always just believe something anymore when I see it because there's so much crap and false information out there. But, he was probably making a joke or doing something. I don't know. Sherry said, I wonder if Maxwell is going to spill everything. I mean, I don't know. I don't think her conviction has been overturned, Kath. I don't think that's true, but unless I haven't seen that yet. Yeah, he could be being facetious. I don't know. I mean, he's a smart guy. I don't know. Yeah, he hasn't clarified. So yeah, who knows? He probably. I would think he might clarify at this point. It's hard to say, but we'll see. Let's see. Well, we got 282 people in here holding strong. That must not be a total bore. Someone said she needs extra security, man. I don't doubt that. I mean, I wouldn't want to be in her position. No way. Yeah. What a crazy time, man. Oh, good night, Mayan leader. Buenas noches. Yeah, that's right, Daisy. It's hard to tell the truth from fiction. You see, like, even when you see somebody post a tweet, it's like somebody can Photoshop that shit and write whatever they want. It's just, I think it's just best to, like, always just pause, before you believe something, before you take it at face value. Just pause and use some critical thinking and, you know, use Google or Perplexity and just see if it's true. Good night, Peg. Oh, thanks, Shar. Shar said I'm never boring. I don't know. I appreciate that, though. Yeah, Laverne King, Stephen King, he could be just taking a jab at MAGA. I mean, he's not a MAGA dude, so. Tammy said, you feel sad. No, I'm not sad. I'm just calm. Big difference. Pretty Decay said, Falcon, I saw a post from Hawk about the SF mayors. He bad? And if yes, could you elaborate? I don't know much about him. I know he's a billionaire. I know he's done some things that aren't great. I think he's a bit of a wolf in sheep's clothing, from what I understand. I don't have a lot of facts about it, but he's kind of like, he seems a little bit smarmy and slimy to me. That's what my perception is, but I don't know. I don't know. I know a lot of people don't like him. But, people, you can't find a person that a lot of people don't like. So a lot of people don't like me, so you gotta just kind of figure it out for yourself these days. Oh, thanks, Ben. Appreciate that. Man. Yeah, I feel very low energy tonight. I was up late, couldn't get to sleep. Up early, just not sleeping well. Working on it. Yeah, Shiloh said, I can't believe they took your car but left you there. Yeah. I mean, nobody really seemed to give a shit. Like, the sheriffs were all perfectly happy to leave me on the side of the road. Which I understand. I mean, I'm an adult and can figure shit out, but it's like when you're in a crash like that, it rattles you, man. You're not thinking straight. And, it was further complicated because I couldn't get Uber to work. I couldn't get my phone to work very well. There was nowhere to walk to, It's pretty weird. Thanks, Linda. Glad you enjoyed it. Appreciate it. Yeah, I wasn't sure. I mean, my brother let me know. He's like, "Oh, I'm not going to be there Wednesday." I'm like, "All right, um, I'll do it." And then I was like, "Oh, I'll have Wiseacre. He'll hang with me." And then Wiseacre's like, "Oh, I can't do it." I'm like, "Oh, okay." It's going to be just me. We'll see how that goes. LJ said Mark Cuban seems to be okay. I assume you're talking about billionaires, huh? He's better than most, that's for sure. Laverne said Uber's a terrible app. I never use it. Actually, the first time I used it, well, not the first time, that's not true. The second time I used it was in Santa Monica after my accident. I just don't need it that much. Yeah, Wiseacre's great, man. He's got some great content, great videos. So yeah, anybody who's just joined or joined late, please go to my TikTok account and comment and like and post and retweet, not post, but reshare my last TikTok talking about the live that's going to happen Friday with Hawk and Tim Miller on the Bulwark TikTok page. And you can do the same on Hawk's account. He has one there too. Thanks. Yeah, post accident PTSD is real. I feel some of that, It's like emotional distress, they call it. Yeah, Paulette, I have AAA roadside service too, but I was in Santa Monica. I was in Malibu. I'm very far from my home. And I think my insurance arranged for the tow, but yeah, it was just like, it just wasn't easy. And, being in north of LA is a very different scenario than being in the Bay Area. LA is so big and busy and crazy and chaotic. Oh, Lori, you guys took a Waymo. That's cool. I still haven't done that. It looks really fun, though. Oh, LJ, you're gonna miss the live on Friday. Well, hopefully I can record it or something. I don't know. Welcome in, Mr. Luigi. You can go back on TikTok and if you want to see the live on Friday. But I understand if you're not. TikTok can be exhausting. Yeah, I'm getting sleepy. When you yawn, it's also can be a sign that you're engaging your parasympathetic nervous system. So if you're doing like a regulating exercise or trying to do something calming and you yawn, then make sure you let that yawn fully express, because that's your nervous system. Yeah, I'll try to record it. I think TikTok will record it automatically. Good night, Mary. But I think on their page. But I'll see if I can record it. It'd be cool to have. I'm sure it'll be fun. Yeah, Mary, that they might. I'll ask Tim if they're going to record it. I'll ask their social media person. Yeah, massage. I'm actually going to do that. I think get a massage booked. Yeah, Colleen, I get it. Yeah, maybe I'll be able to post it on YouTube. We'll see. But so I'm going to jump off here in about 5 minutes, 4 minutes. Yep. Thanks, Patsy. Thanks, everybody, for joining. I appreciate it. It's been very chill. Everybody's yawning now, yeah. Is Hot going to be live on YouTube also? No. He's going to be live on the Bulwark's TikTok account, so he's going to be a guest. But maybe we can do one in the future where Tim is a guest on ours and we can have it live on TikTok, YouTube, and Twitch. I still haven't done this live on Twitch yet, but I want to. Just for fun, because I can. Thanks, Brian. Glad you enjoyed the atmosphere. Good to see everybody. Glad y'all hung in there. Appreciate hanging out. It's been nice. Yeah, I kind of look forward to the Wednesday live too, Michelle. It's kind of fun. I want to get back to having some more guests, because that's always interesting, getting to know somebody new. That's right, Kathy. Good sign. You have empathy if you pick up someone else's yawn. That's true. We're not psychopaths. It's always a good sign these days to not be a psychopath, right? K.A. Lane from Australia. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. Yeah, so when Hawk can't make it, then we'll just hang out. The chill vibe. One more yawn for the road, people. Appreciate everybody being here. And takes a nap after the podcast. Yeah, I'm gonna go into the slow mode for sure. Yeah, Chasing Oz. We'll get some people on here for sure. We have a list of people we want to have on. Now that I've got it hooked up to TikTok, YouTube, and I'll do Twitch next just for fun. So whoever's on whatever platform can join. It'd be kind of cool. Good night, everybody. I'll catch you guys next week. Well, I won't catch you Friday, but hopefully you guys can tune in Friday. Tim Miller and Hawk on the Bulwark. It's the Bulwark Media. At the Bulwark Media is their handle on TikTok, so you can search for it. I think they have about 80,000 followers or something like that. It's not a super huge page, but thanks everybody for tuning in. I am going to end the stream, so I'll catch you next time. See ya.